Have you ever wondered what happens when you move beyond the limits of your conscious mind? What if through hypnosis you could access past lives, meet your spirit guides, and uncover the deeper purpose of your soul's journey? Today's guest, Faye Sizeland, has devoted her work to helping people do exactly that, guiding them to heal, remember, and reconnect through the power of spiritual hypnosis. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to the Angels and Destiny show, where we explore spiritual wisdom, healing, and transformation to help you take charge of your destiny. I'm Ray Cownan, the founder of Radiant Angel Energy, and a spiritual guide and healer, helping you reconnect with your divine presence and create a life of purpose and fulfillment through angelic Reiki, guided meditation, and intuitive journeys across past, present, and future lives. Now, the meaning of angel is messenger, and destiny means to make, firm, establish. And each week, my guests and I bring you messages to help you ground divine wisdom into your everyday life. Now, in today's episode, I'm joined by Faye Sizeland, a hypnotherapist, numerology enthusiast, and Reiki Master, who loves helping others access the beyond through deeper states of consciousness. Now, Faye's work explores how hypnosis can open the door to past lives, higher self-connection, and soul healing, offering powerful insights into who we truly are and why we're here. Now, with testimonials such as, "Oh, Faye, riveting, illuminating, and thought-provoking. What a stunning gift you have. Thank you, thank you, thank you." And it was so enlightening. It really resonated with me. It's helped me develop my consciousness and connect with my path. So, without further delay, hello, Faye, and a warm welcome to the Angels and Destiny show. How are you today?
Hi, Ray. I'm feeling really good and
Oh,
very grateful to be here. Thank you.
wonderful. And to everyone watching, whether you're joining us live or catching the replay, we'd love you to be part of the conversation. So do let us know in the comments what resonates, if you have any questions, or share your own experience with awakening and life transitions. So please don't be shy and do say hello. And I can see that Mandy Elliott has already said, "I'm looking forward to this." Hi, Mandy. Good to
Hi, Nancy. Thank you.
see you. So, Faye, why don't you tell us more about your journey and what spiritual hypnotherapy can reveal about our soul's journey?
Okay, so yes, with my journey, I think that with lots of people on a spiritual pathway, there's like a line of events, and it's all sort of synchronistic with how it comes about. And it's sometimes that things happen, and then in the future you look back and think, oh, okay, that makes sense with how it linked to that. And anyway, so it was going back a few years. I'd say that I've really started getting into my spiritual journey from 2019, 2020. So it went through a bit of an awakening, and it happens in stages. And yeah, I had an experience in 2020 where my sister, she and my mum, they're both homeopaths, and my sister gave me a remedy. And this isn't the reason that she gave it to me, but then later on that evening, I was on my own, and all of a sudden, I just started seeing all of these events unrolling over my third eye. And I was basically seeing a past life play out. And at that time, I hadn't really come across it that much. I mean, I sort of, had heard of them, but I wasn't as familiar as I am with them now. And so I was just scribbling it all out, and it was just absolutely fascinating as it was playing out. And I just sort of saw it was all sort of concise, that nobody was there guiding me. So I just sort of let it all play out, and it came to the end, and it was just very powerful. And I think that particular one, it felt like I was sort of reconnecting a soul fragment, is what it felt like to me. Although I didn't quite understand it at the time, but sort of in hindsight, I understand it a bit better now. So that was my first experience with a past life. Then after that, it was like synchronicities really, and it was like somebody was like paying forward a gift I'd given them, and they did so through connecting me with somebody who was doing past life regressions and was learning a new technique and was looking for some people to work with. So I leapt at that opportunity, And again, that was my first one where it was guided, and it was such a powerful experience, and I learned so much from it. Not just about the past life experiences, but also going over to the other side of that and how you work with all these different energies. So that was, yeah, a powerful experience for me. And then the ball just kept rolling from there. So then I got really obsessed with near-death experiences and listening to near-death experience stories, which I'm sure lots of people in this world do. So I got really into that, and then I really got into listening to Dolores Cannon. So I was listening to a lot of her, who does QHHT, the quantum healing hypnosis technique, and her work is it was well ahead of its time. It was, I don't know if you've come across QHHT before, but it's if you've heard of it, then you know it's basically mostly around past life regressions, but it goes into all sorts of directions. So anyway, I got really into Dolores Cannon. I was like going back listening to her old radio shows from going years back. So I found that really interesting. Then I was getting into her books. And it's quite not common, but for people who train in past life, I think QHHT is quite a well-known method. And I would just sort of add that whilst, like with Dolores Cannon, whilst I've learned so much from it, I would also just say always have discernment with anyone, because there's a few things that I've read in her work that's just made me feel a bit like, and just about how she's approached things or other things. So yeah, pinch of salt with all of these things, but it was a gateway for me. It sort of opened me up a lot more to what's possible with going into past life regressions, and in terms of the healing that's available. So sort of answering your other question now, like how it really can help people. So I sort of said from my own experience, I think it can help.
Yeah, I'm still here. We can still see and hear you.
I don't know. Oh, you're back. Yeah. Oh, good. So about reconnecting with cell fragments, but I think it can also like connect you with obviously like your higher self, but it can also help connect you with guides. I've had lots of people connect with their guides through these sessions, and also spirit family as well, and people who've passed over. That sometimes people connect there and get some messages in if that's an intention. And it's always just about finding out answers for ourselves. So rather than being told, actually going through the experience of sort of expanding our consciousness and going through the trance state to get to the other side, you can actually start to sort of more directly experience what it's about. And like anything, using your discernment. But yeah, I think it's pretty powerful, and in terms of healing as well. So it's healing on different levels. And just generally remembrance, like remembering who we really are as a soul. And we can then also do things like go into finding out more about our soul lessons, or in terms of like what our soul plan is. So that's quite interesting as well. And I do like sort of experimenting. If it's like friends and family, then I'm a little bit more open to experimenting, going into all sorts of different directions, and even going into like multi-dimensional existences as like being beings who aren't actually human. Going into that, and it's been quite a ride with it all. And one thing that I particularly love about these hypnosis sessions is it's just expect the unexpected. I think you can never predict what will happen in terms of the information, like the sort of past lives that you go into, and you might have some like preconceived ideas, or for instance, if you're going in asking for some guidance around some health issues or relationship issues, whatever it is, actually I just find it absolutely fascinating how it works with, I'd say, how spirit's working with that individual to show them exactly what it is that they need to see to help them with the lessons. And
we've lost
I
her
probably
for a second.
will later
There,
on go
you're
into some
back.
examples of things that come up. I'm back. Oh, good. I will go into some more specific examples later, but I just love the sort of guidance that comes through for people. And often, I'll go through more than one past life, and it's just fascinating how they can be so different, but there's some theme or some connection between them, which we then learn at the end of the session, like what it was that they were being shown and why they were shown those past lives, for the reason behind that. Sometimes they'll be shown things which are like quite contradictory, because like to show you the contrast of this is why we wanted to show you that, so that we could show you that, and that's to help you with the message there. Or sometimes you can see that there's themes from what they're struggling with in this lifetime that, oh, okay, they've struggled with that before and in a completely different context, but the themes were there. And it's just, again, to help give them some solutions behind that, to see where the block might be and what it is. It's just, I think with these things that it's never handed to you on a plate in terms of, there you go, solved. It's given to you in terms of, here's the guidance and this is how you can apply it in your life. So yeah, I suppose it's, everyone still has to take responsibility, but it just helps, I think, give some direction and just a bit of a boost, I think, as well. And also, I think it can just help people feel a bit more like, it's okay that things are the way that they are. Just help them feel supported and loved. Yeah. So that's some of the reasons why I absolutely love this work.
Yeah,
Working with
it is amazing, and I totally agree. When I take people back to the past, it is amazing, the stories, the information that actually comes through, and the healing that comes through after that, as well. And it's right. You and I, when we do this work, we're just guiding the people, we're just guiding the clients, the people coming to us, they're doing the work, they're doing the experience. It's not us, they're doing it.
Absolutely. It's wonderful, because you're right. You just have to, once you sort of help get people into that lovely relaxed state, beyond that, it's just, the light is shining on them, and you're just helping to ask the right question, question here and there, to just help them keep moving with it. And it's just such a lovely thing to do with people. But yeah, like I was saying, just always a surprise what will come up. And sometimes, because I had one friend who I did it with, and she randomly had like a real interest in Russian naval history. So we were expecting that's surely going to be what comes up, and it wasn't at all. And what did come up was absolutely fascinating, and completely, I could see it. This life as she was describing it, I could see how it suited how she is now as a personality, a completely different life, but I could see her within it. But yeah, and maybe it would in another session that she would get a bit more about the obsession with Russian naval history. But yeah, you certainly can't tell what will come up. But it is always, it's just an honor to do these, and just what comes up for them is what comes up. And I don't, like you say, we don't have to do the work. It's done on the other side, and it's done through that person. So
Yeah. So do you sort of like bring the spiritual side into do you have that in your background, is that a big part of it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, I try to sort of gauge with the client how much we sort of openly go into that side. But, the sort of, there's different layers on, or different depths to how far you go with the spiritual side. But I mean, it is a spiritual practice in itself, doing these hypnotherapy sessions. But yeah, in terms of like my spiritual side, I would say I'm very much been on the spiritual journey in recent years, and I think that the way I would describe it is, I'd say I've had lots of initiations over the years, in all sorts of different ways, and lots of spiritual experiences which have just, and each time you open up and you learn something more, and you sort of open up to, to seeing this side of
Oh,
things,
okay.
it then later
It
leads
looks
to opening
like
up to that
Facebook
side of
have
things.
stopped. Looks like Facebook have stopped the broadcast, but YouTube is still going. So, yeah. So I don't
Okay.
know what's wrong with Facebook, but hey, that's Facebook for you.
Yeah. I think, yeah, that happens on Facebook, doesn't it? I think if anything, I sort of see it as a badge of honor.
Exactly. Facebook chucks you out. Yes, I've done something right.
Yeah.
So anyway, where were we before Facebook
Yeah,
chucked us
absolutely.
out?
We're just talking about, like you were asking sort of about my spiritual, do I bring the
Yes.
spiritual element into it? And I was just saying, like, yes, I think that I've had lots of initiations, I'd describe it as, and, just things that come up. Again, it's when you least expect it, that all of a sudden I won't necessarily have the intention to, but then I'll tune into things, and you get shown different things. And I would say I've had experiences being shown the dark side of things as much as the light side of things. And I think that's really important as well, to be, because we can't hide from these things. And actually, you need to shine a light on the dark side of things as well. So, yeah, I've definitely had a few of those where I wasn't expecting it, on a few different occasions. And it's taught me a lot about discernment, that's for sure. And I think that's an ongoing lesson for me. Each time I think I've got it sussed, it crops up again. So discernment's definitely a big one, and that's for everyone on this journey as well. If you go into the multidimensional realms, then yeah, you certainly need to have discernment. And it's just about really learning what's true to you, and like learning what your anchor point is, I think, to help to be able to see things as they are, as they really are. And I think everyone is always being tested all the time, to help. I would say it's in terms of like helping bring more of who they really are in. And that's what we see with these past lives sometimes as well, is that if something's come up that's not been healed, then it might come up again in this lifetime to be healed. So yeah. But what I also love about doing these regression sessions, it's not just about the past lives in themselves, which are they can be very illuminating, they can be really helpful. And yeah, they can certainly shine light on all sorts in people's lives. But it's also how it's a gateway to what's beyond that as well, and what you can access beyond is, I think, like going through past life experience, you can then use it to sort of hop into the deeper states of consciousness from there and into the other dimensions. And again, that is where you do have to be, I think it only ever happens for people at the pace that they're ready for. I don't think anything ever happens which isn't right for them. But yeah, from my own experience, there's the other side that can come through as well. And so certainly having the tools to help with that, and to, yeah, that I certainly do use those tools myself, and I help guide other people based on their beliefs and what works with them to use that as well. Yeah, and I
Yes.
think that can also be it can also be a potential obstacle, I think, sometimes for some people, I don't know, what you find with your experience with
Oh, we're
giving the
definitely
sessions.
having
Some people,
issues today. So we just missed that last part, because we suddenly lost you, again. But something I was going to say, to that, when you were talking, was it's one of the reasons why when people do past life, that it's a good idea to go to someone rather than trying to do it yourself, because if you're being guided, then that person who's guiding you can actually, if you do go into those darker places or those things come up, you've actually got someone there that can guide you through it. Whereas if you're trying to do it by yourself and that come up, you might get lost in it and not be able to cope with it, as you're going through.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree with you on that. And it's, yeah, I think having someone next to you who's got, and certainly when I received sessions, that's like I said, the first one which I had where it was guided, I really learned a lot from that, from what came through and how the person who was running it is absolutely brilliant, and how he helped, help guide me through it, and sort of some of the tools he used at the time as well, which was, or suggested that I could use myself, which I did do, and it was just very powerful. So yeah, definitely, it helps to be guided by someone, who has got that experience and is sort of prepared for different eventualities and is able to sort of adapt and go along with you on that journey. Yeah, I agree with you on
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got Chris Davidson here who says, "Go Faye."
that.
And
Thanks, Chris.
and we've also got Heather who says, "Faye, this sounds wonderful and extraordinarily so valuable. Beautiful gift. I would be interested in having a
Oh,
regression therapy session past life. You have a great energy and calming."
oh, thank you for saying so. Yeah, well, it's always an honour to hold any session because yeah, everyone is always so unique, and yeah, I absolutely love doing them. So
Yeah. Yeah.
useful
So,
there. Yeah.
I mean, do you work, are you happy to do it online with people, or do you prefer doing it in person with people? How do you normally work?
Well, I have recently moved, whereas before I was very fortunate that we had a clinic room, so I was able to do work from the clinic room. But I've also done them from Zoom and yeah, over video calls, and that's worked absolutely, just as perfectly well. You know, it does it. It's. I mean, I personally always just love seeing someone in person, but actually it works just as well online as well. So it doesn't matter. The most important thing is just that when someone's receiving a session is that they feel comfortable. That's all that's needed,
Yeah,
and good
yeah.
connection.
And
Good
and good
intersection
connection,
helps as
which
well.
you can never guarantee these days with anything that's literally going on.
No, but honestly, all sorts has happened in sessions before. I've had it where, for instance, someone needs to go to the toilet and it's absolutely fine, and you can break off the session, do that, and then you come back in, and actually sometimes they go even deeper into it after having a disruption like that. Sometimes I'm amazed because obviously, you know, being there trying to guide people through it, you try to help them get to that state where, background noise isn't a distraction to them, and it happens where there's all sorts of background noise going on, or it can be. I've even done one with my sister before where she's had, her dog, and she was insistent, yeah, let's keep him in here and keep him on the bed, and oh, what he was getting up to, all the fidgeting, and it just didn't disturb her at all. So, it's quite amazing when you get really deep into trance. It's just like when you get completely absorbed with anything, you're there, and that's like your sole focus. And then and I know from my own experience as well, and you get really deep into it, and when you it's magic. Do love
Yeah.
doing
And we've also got Ziggy Pilcher here
it.
who says, "Hi Faye, love you so much, light."
Oh, love you, Ziggy. Thank you. He's an angel.
Good. Ah, absolutely, absolutely, and thank you for coming supporting Faye and watching the show today. So, have you where you've been working with people, is there anything that really stands out for you about what results they've got, so and what experiences they've had that you can share?
Yeah, absolutely. So actually, I went through some of my notes because I thought, ask people's permission beforehand, if I could share some of their experiences. And what really sort of strikes me, going back over some of my notes again and just really reflecting on it, is I think my favorite part is when you receive, you ask some questions and you can receive guidance from your higher self, or however it is that people perceive that to be when they get to the deeper states of consciousness. And I'm just always just quite in awe, I think, of the sort of guidance that comes through. So I've got a few which I wrote down to share with you from some of the sessions that I've taken. So, for instance, just a lovely first one to start with is about having guidance to just a reminder to have an open heart, and to just love more. That's just one piece of advice someone shared, the higher self or whoever shared with them. Another one being that it's okay to be challenged, and actually you can find joy in the challenge. And it's just about finding the next step. So it can be sort of quite practical, but relatively practical advice comes through as well. I'm really into my numerology, and I do like it because now and again, if I know someone's life path number or some of the main numbers in their chart, and I can see sometimes how their journey reflects that. And some people, like for instance, I know I just put a couple of examples down of where it links into their life path. So I've had a few people who are life path number 3, and one of them asked, what have I come here for? And it was just a really simple message to be a messenger. And that's just so fitting for a life path 3. Another life path 3 said, again, what have I come here for? And it came through that they were here to pursue the written and spoken word and make it known. And again, that's just so perfect for a life path 3. There's also, life path 1, which came with the quote about, I stand up for who I am, and it's safe to do that now. And again, that's really important for a life path 1. There's also other advice that I sort of scrawled out from some of my notes. So connection to art and poetry for this person, they're encouraged to pursue art and poetry and said that their connection to it is through that childlike connection of purity and innocence. So they were just being reminded, like just being given some advice on how to connect with that. Someone else, this was based on one of the lessons from the past life that this person saw, and a message came through that superficial success seems like a big achievement, but it's not really. It's only ever short-lived, and that was one of the messages from why she experienced that particular past life and why she was seeing that. Other examples, then, it doesn't matter what you've got going on if you have connection with someone. And if it seems dark, the light will come, and just being advised to leave behind goodness. So I just think that, like, all in all, when people go through this process and when they connect and they start getting answers, it always comes through in a really compassionate way and a really non-judgmental way. And it's also, at the same time, it's not at all interfering. It's it's more, it's like somebody standing by, observing, and they're not going to do anything to interfere with anybody's path, but they are there if they're called upon, if the higher self or whoever it is that they're connecting to. And like I say, it always just comes through with just so much love and so much compassion. And yes, and I mean, in some ways, I think lots of us could apply that guidance in our life as well, but it's just specific to whatever that person is experiencing at that time. I have some other examples of things I was thinking about that I really like. Sometimes people come in and they want to ask specifically about health issues which they're experiencing, and that's really interesting as well, because it's not necessarily that you can't necessarily guarantee or expect that you'll go into this section and you'll come out and whatever physical ailment you've got going on will just be healed. It doesn't always work like that, but sometimes you can just be given some connection, as within, so without, and and where it may have actually stemmed from. She was told the message behind that for her when she gets it is to slow down, and it's literally to take a breath. And that's partly why she experiences the asthma. And it's, again, just it's about when she's trying to juggle too much, that's actually when it then sort of triggers her into having it. So, just gave her some answers there. And that's what I mean. It's these things, it's not always like a quick fix. But it can just direct you, it can just give you a little bit of guidance just to help you. Okay, so I'll follow this route, that will help me. Somebody else was experiencing night sweats, like profuse sweating at night time, like really, really bad. And so, so we went in and asked the question, what's this about? What's going on? And can it be healed? And the message that came through there was that it was in itself a form of physical healing, and that basically to leave it alone because it would just sort itself out, that it was actually a good sign. And it was where this person was letting go of tension, actually, was when these sweats were coming through. So it's like a healing symptom rather than like a symptom of something not being right. It's actually a healing symptom. And yeah, just that it would just, he was just sort of warned to just give it, it's just going to take a little bit of time, but it's all just sort of flushing through the system as it was supposed to. So that was interesting. I had somebody else whose hands were seizing up, and the message there was about shedding the load. And it was where this person, beautiful, beautiful soul, taking on other people's load, like literally like holding other people's load, and was being sort of guided to release it because she was taking on too much. And that's actually where the symptoms were coming through with her hand seizing up. So you just learn so much from it. And again, there'd be somebody else who would have that session, might have similar symptoms, but have completely different reason behind it. You just don't know. So in that sense, I think it's it can be like a method for holistic healing, because I'm very much into holistic healing. I don't think we should just look at a symptom as a physical symptom alone and not look at the bigger picture behind it. And that's something that we can use hypnosis, hypnotherapy for, to help try to identify the core of the issue. And that can just be a bit of a guiding light to help people then resolve it if it actually needs resolving. Like I said, it might, in some instances, like the night sweats, it was actually a healing symptom in itself, so it wasn't actually necessarily a bad thing in that case. But yeah, so it's you learn so much through it.
Yeah, you do. And it's also, the way that you use it as well, and the way I use it is that we use it as a spiritual a tool, because quite often when you think of hypnotists, Paul McKenna, those kind of like people, it's all very, very sort of like clinical, this, whereas actually it doesn't have to be like that. It can be broader, and you can bring in spirit guides and angels and galactic beings, and you can just explore anywhere and get more spiritual, natural, homeopathic ideas and solutions and thoughts.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it can just tap into people's own innate wisdom. That's just the main thing. So it is like they're healing themselves. They're just, and I'm sure that once people start practicing these techniques, I think it starts expanding their consciousness all the time. And so it then brings in more and more information in the day to day, that, they just start noticing things more, and things just sort of start becoming a bit brighter and lighter, and they start learning more. Yeah, it just continues, doesn't it? Just one other thing I've got down as well, to in terms of sort of guidance that comes through. It comes through quite often for people to meditate more, or something along those lines. That's quite a common one that comes through to people, I think, in terms of like some message about sort of slowing down their thoughts, and sort of going within more. And typically it's sort of described as meditating, isn't it? But just something to that effect. That's quite a common one that comes through. I've noticed.
Yeah.
People.
Helping
It's
us all
wonderful.
tap into what our natural innate gifts are, what we've actually come here for. And Mandy says, Faye, you have the most wonderful natural gifts. It is incredible the places you can travel during your sessions. Faye, you're a golden treasure. Lots of love, Panda and Sunny.
Oh, thank you, Panda and Sunny. Love you lots. Yeah. She's absolutely wonderful. I'm just pleased to be able to help people experience this for themselves, because like you say, it's just what they can tap into with their own innate gifts and their own innate wisdom. It's just fascinating. And sometimes, like with past lives, that comes through as well, where they realize, okay, they sometimes, depending on what's right for them, they might be shown a past life where they had particular gifts or they had done certain things before, and it's like they've already got those, and then it's like that nice, like a bit of a confidence boost and a reminder, like, oh yeah, I could do that before. So even though they may, it might be related to what they're doing in this lifetime, or it might be that, okay, they've already done that, so they can now focus their attention on something a bit new in this lifetime. But everyone gets shown exactly what it is that they need to see and what will help them in that particular moment. And I know from my experience that, because I've had plenty of my own sessions since I got into this, and they're always so different, always so different. And I would just say, like, just being honest, so people know what it's, if they haven't done one before and what to expect. I think I personally would say, from my experience, it does help if you can go into it where you are able to completely relax and let go of things, which of course whoever's with you can help guide you through that. And sometimes I think if you it's about not having expectations as well. I think that's really important, because you never know which direction it's going to go in. And sometimes I have actually had it before where I have struggled to get into it myself. And then when I have sort of started, it's been like very sort of stodgy trying to get into it. It can be frustrating. I'm something, I like results, and I like to be able to just get in there. And I've had it where I've had, like that first time I experienced a past life, it wasn't even through like a formal regression session. It just occurred through having had that remedy, and it just was flowing. It just started, and I started writing it down. I could hardly keep up with what was happening. I was seeing it all. So it's like, I knew that I could do that. But then on another day, I've tried a session where it is like a formal one, and I've really struggled to get into it. So I think it's okay, basically. And sometimes, actually, when I have had ones, I've had more. And then when I have started getting some things coming through, I've not been completely convinced. But then sometimes it's like I get shown things, and again, it's just exactly what I need to help me clear that block. So sometimes you have to go through experiences like that to help you clear that, and then when you continue in another, forward later on, it can just be much more smooth after that. So it's because I think, and I would also add that it doesn't matter like what your background is as to your ability to go into these. I've had people who are not at all spiritual, I would say, who've just been a bit curious, or I've said, no, I do this.
There you are.
Interested in.
You're back. So it doesn't matter what your background is.
No, and how sort of spiritual you are and how much you meditate doesn't matter at all. I've had people who, like, I'm just thinking an example in my mind would be someone who's like a builder and a biker, does not do anything spiritual whatsoever, but gave it a go, and it was just amazing what was coming through for him. But I think it helps if you don't have that expectation sometimes and you just go with it. It can be. And then I've also had people who are very spiritual, but they almost want it too much, and then it's not an issue. You just have to be patient then to allow it to just to relax more, and it's almost like just needs a little bit more coaxing. But there are tricks up my sleeve, things that can help with that. But I think the main thing is just to let go of expectations and just enjoy the ride. And actually, I think when you go into it more and you're just in that sort of like, just see what happens, that's when you just get real gems that come through. So it's that, it's like I said in the blurb, they can be really fun. Sessions can actually be really fun, as well as illuminating and healing and giving you answers. They can actually just be really, really fun and interesting because they expect the unexpected.
Exactly, and fun, is one of the best things to have. And Joan Gaines says, "Hi, Faye, loving this. Thank you."
Oh, thank you. Thanks for tuning in.
Yes, thank you so much. So, as you know, I do guided meditations and I also do angel oracle cards. And each week I like to ask my guests whether they would like me to do a mini guided meditation or pull an angel or pull an oracle card for themselves and those watching. So, Faye, what would you like me to do?
Oh, do you know, I can feel the energies like going, it's just feeling lovely as soon as you started saying that. Do you know, I love an oracle card.
Funny enough, I've got them in my hand
did you say?
as we're talking. I love cards, so I'm going to use the normal cards I use for this. Although today I did get a new deck of cards, which was the Oracle of the Magical Fairy Forest, and I did a review of them earlier. So do check that out. They're absolutely gorgeous cards, and they're probably going to become my next favourite. But I'm going to stick with my normal that I use for the show. So as always, I'll give the cards a quick cleanse and a bless. Now, when I do the cards for what you need to know for your highest good at this moment in time. Because even though, like you, I work with the past, when I take people to the past, it's to learn and heal from, so it doesn't affect them in the present. And when I take people into future lives, it's so they can see, know, and understand what the future is, how to get there. So again, it doesn't affect them in the present. So what does Faye and everyone who's watching this live or the replay need to know for their highest good at this moment in time? What does Faye and everyone who's watching this live or the replay need to know for their highest good? Oh, okay. We'll go with that one. Someone wants to come out. We have got reaching your destination. Your light is shining brightly. Isn't that a gorgeous card? I know they're so gorgeous. So what this is saying for you, Faye, and for those watching, is that, know your light is always shining brightly and that you will always reach your destination and you don't have to rush to get there. It can be a beautiful, magical journey, step by step. So just know that you will reach your destination and that as you do so, your light is just shining brighter and brighter. So allow your inner light to shine, and that will help you on your journey, and you will get there quicker than not going within and letting your light shine, which ties in perfectly with what you've been talking about, because it is the inner knowledge. Oh, we've lost Faye there. She'll be back in a minute. So it is about knowing your inner knowledge and allowing that to shine for you. So I'll give you that card again whilst we're waiting for Faye to come back in. So here we go. So we just wait for her camera to switch on. There we go. Oh, and then she switched out again. I tell you, the energies are really playing up today. Obviously Facebook chucked us out. We're having issues with the internet. But let's see.
Sorry, I need to close the last window. I could hear. I was still listening to you the whole time, but anyway, I'm back.
You're back.
Energy. Let's just blame it on zingy energy.
Oh no, we've we've lost again. It's like she's on two spaces. Then I just love it when this happens, because it just goes to show, the energy that is created with everyone, that actually joins in, and obviously there was issues with their Faye's computer earlier, so she went to her phone, and now her phone keeps switching off. So thank you for bearing with us whilst this is going on. We'll just wait for it to come back. So hopefully, fingers crossed.
So
No, she's gone again. This is so frustrating, but we will get her back in. She might need to just reset and come out completely. But again, thank you everyone who's been watching and joining the show with us today. It's absolutely brilliant that you're here. So I'm just hoping.
is it back on?
Yeah, don't touch anything. No, she's gone again. She was there and then she disappeared. Um, uh, yeah, so thank you everyone who has been watching and for bearing with us and supporting Faye here today. It's absolutely brilliant. So we're hoping she will get back in again, and she won't disappear. Oh, okay. Let's hope, fingers crossed, this works.
I wasn't touching it after I was in. Did you hear any of that? Am I in?
Only that your phone was was kind of, you've gone back to the laptop.
I've had to, yeah, because it was clearly a no-go with the phone. I don't know. Yeah, each time I came back in, I was just like waiting, and then it. Sorry, everyone.
That's okay. It waited till we were coming to the end of the show anyway.
Yeah.
Which actually
I
worked.
apologise everyone for the flashing screen. That's why we ended up doing it on my phone. But I thought better this than not being able to connect back in.
Exactly. And Heather is here and says, Faye, so knowledgeable, beautiful golden light around you, sending gratitude for your information, love and light.
Oh, thank you, Heather. That's a beautiful message.
Oh,
all these beautiful souls.
I know you've got so many beautiful people that are following and working with you, which I think is absolutely brilliant, and it's great when we build these communities around us, and we've got the support, and we can help support other people as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Togetherness is so vitally important, and it's. I think going just briefly back to the dark and light thing, I think that's actually where on the dark side of things it falls down, because there's not that heart connection, whereas on the sort of lighter side of things, where you have that heart connection, it's that the bond through unconditional love really is just so powerful. It's what it's all about. So yes, all about togetherness and acceptance.
Beautiful. So I hope everyone, you've enjoyed this conversation and found it insightful, because I know I definitely have. So if people want to connect with you, Faye, how do they do that? Do you have anything coming up or any free gifts offers you'd like to share?
Yeah, so my website would be the best.
Oh,
I know it's under the name numerology, but I've got my pages under there for hypnotherapy as well. And there's also a tab on there for a guided meditation, just a relaxation meditation. So hopefully you can download that and enjoy that as well. And yeah, my contact details are on the website. So I will update it at some point, because obviously it's beyond numerology now, but that's where I started with the numerology. Yeah. So
yeah, no, and I'll put that link in the comments, so people can get that. And I'm guessing that you bring numerology into your spiritual hypnosis anyway.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with it. I tend to send out a form to people before I have a session, and I do ask for their date of birth, and I do speak to them about their, not just, I don't go into a full-on reading, but I do briefly speak about it. And like I said, I just find it fascinating how even through like these regression sessions, you can see the link between the life path, especially, and some of the messages that come through for them. So it's just beautiful seeing that, and so it's sometimes just getting a bit of confirmation as well, because I mean, there's all sorts that we can look at in numerology, not just our life path number. But if you are looking, that's obviously the main one. And if you are looking at your life path number, that there's a lot of different interpretations around each one, and it can sometimes help just narrow it down a little bit as to, actually this. And sometimes I think it just gives people that aha moment where it's like, okay, they actually knew that already, but it's just having that confirmation given to them that, yeah, that is the path for you. This is where it's working well, at this moment in time. That's where you can focus your attention. So yeah, certainly I do. I find it interesting, and I do share about numerology as well. It all comes hand in hand.
Yeah. Beautiful. So thank you so much, Faye, for sharing your wisdom and your journey with us. It's been an inspiring conversation, and it reinforces a lot of stuff I do as well. And thank you, everyone, who has been watching.
Okay.
And of course, if you'd like to continue deepening your connection with the angels, then you can download my free 5-day angel connection journey to open your channel and start receiving messages from your guides. And for those of you wanting ongoing support and community, then my Angel Wings membership is a beautiful space where we come together for live guided meditations, various other things, soul nourishing practices to help you grow, heal, and live with your purpose. You also get access to a growing library of past meditations and teachings whenever you want support. We have a beautiful WhatsApp community where everyone really supports each other. And of course, if you're ready for a personal transformation, then Soul Path Discovery Program is a one-to-one journey of healing and self-discovery to help you release the past, awaken your soul's gifts, and align with your highest purpose and abundance. And if you have been watching this on YouTube, then please don't forget to subscribe, click the bell icon, and share this video with anyone who might be looking for guidance and inspiration on a spiritual path. And remember, every time you like, share, comment on anything that I offer, anything that Faye offers, any of my guests offer, then that really helps support all of us, and brings that community and that energy to grow, and for everyone to reach that spiritual thing of light and peace. And Patrick says, hi Faye, you're a shining guiding light of love and peacefulness. Lots of love to you.
Oh, more beautiful messages. Thank you very much. Yeah, right back at you.
Yeah. So thank you again, everyone, for watching, for joining in with the show. Again, thank you, Faye, so much. And of course, remember, you are never alone on your journey. The angels are always with you. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you next week. Bye.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.